Let's jump right into this explainer and unpack the truth about driving for the Veho delivery app. I mean, if you've been looking to make some extra cash with your car, you've probably seen their ads everywhere, right? Well, today we're going to dive into a comprehensive review from sidehustle.com. We really want to separate that shiny marketing pitch from the gritty, on-the-ground reality. We're going to use real data to see what it's actually like out there on the road.
Right out of the gate, Veho's homepage makes a seriously compelling pitch. They promise that you can make well over minimum wage, sometimes up to $26 an hour, just by delivering packages. I mean, hearing that number, it sounds like an absolutely lucrative side hustle, doesn't it? Especially if you just have a car sitting idle in your driveway.
But prepare yourself for a bit of a reality check here. Because according to data from actual drivers, that $26 figure, it can be a total mirage. One driver actually sat down, did the hard math on their real time and expenses, and realized they were making, get this, $4.25 an hour. Yeah. Another reported making about $10 an hour. Quite a drop, right? Section 1. How the gig works. Getting started with Veho. Getting started is honestly pretty straightforward. You just need to be at least 25 years old, own a mid-sized sedan or something larger, carry insurance, and pass standard criminal and driving background checks. Once you're greenlit, you hop onto the app and claim a block of work. It could be a 2.5-hour block, maybe a 4-hour block, and it comes with a start time, a pickup spot, and a stated payout. Now, here is the absolute core catch, and it's a structural detail that basically changes everything. You are paid a flat rate to deliver all the packages in that specific block, regardless of how long it actually takes you to finish. You're not on an hourly clock. So, if a promised 3-hour block winds up taking you 6 hours, your pay doesn't go up 1 cent.
Which brings us to Section 2, the roadblocks, the efficiency problem.
The delays often kick in before your tires even hit the street. Drivers regularly report waiting in these agonizingly long lines at the warehouse just trying to check in. And then you've got to scan every single package into your vehicle yourself. This is where the tech becomes a massive hurdle. Reviews absolutely slam the Veho app for being incredibly buggy. Drivers say it lags, it crashes constantly, it randomly cancels out destination maps, and it literally eats your phone's battery alive. Just picture the sheer frustration captured by this real driver. They talked about standing completely awkwardly on a stranger's porch for over half an hour, just constantly resetting the app and trying to rescan a package, all because the software simply refused to cooperate. That is 30 minutes of totally unpaid time just vanished on a single doorstep. To make matters even worse, say you run into a locked apartment building or a drop-off point you just can't access. If you absolutely cannot deliver that package, guess what? You are entirely responsible for it. You have to drive that package all the way back to the warehouse yourself. And since you're paid per block, not by the hour, that return trip is 100% on your own uncompensated time. Let's move to Section 3, the pay reality, the hourly pay illusion. 50 miles. That is very often the distance to a Veho warehouse, because they're usually tucked away on the extreme outskirts of town. Take their Miami warehouse, for instance. It's way out in Pompano, which is roughly 50 miles away from downtown Miami. For a driver, you're looking at a 100-mile round trip of completely unpaid commuting just to fetch the packages and get back, all while eating the cost of your own gas and tolls. Listen to this absolutely scathing breakdown from a driver who mapped out their whole day. They started at 9:30 in the morning, drove those 50 miles out to the warehouse, battled the buggy app and the warehouse delays, drove 50 miles back to their delivery zone, and didn't finish their supposedly quote-unquote 3.5-hour route until 5:30 p.m. Yikes, that is a full 8-hour workday. Let's actually do the math drop on that specific driver's day, because honestly, it is eye-opening. They delivered to 34 houses. Their gross flat rate pay for the block was $79. Not bad on its own, right? But then deduct $32 for gas and another $13 for tolls. After an 8-hour grind, their total net profit was just $34. And remember, that doesn't even factor in the hidden costs of wear and tear on their car. Plus, if you encounter those kinds of issues, or say an item gets swiped from a porch, the reviews consistently point out a severe lack of driver support. Drivers complain that there's virtually no accountability from the company when glitches happen on their end. Instead, drivers end up taking the blame for wrong addresses typed in by the customers themselves. And apparently, you only get a couple of strikes before your account is permanently banned. Moving on to Section 4, Regional winners and losers. Geography dictates your experience.
Now, to be perfectly fair, when we dig into location-specific reviews from Indeed, a really clear map starts to form. It's basically a tale of two completely different operations. Major cities like Miami, Chicago, and Nashville, they are rated terribly by drivers. But on the flip side, hubs like Dallas, Charlotte, Cincinnati, Denver, and parts of Illinois, they actually seem to run like a well-oiled machine.
Like in places like Oklahoma, the whole narrative completely flips. Drivers there report awesome management, good pay, and highly efficient warehouse operations where everyone is super helpful. So this proves that the Veho system absolutely can work and actually be a viable gig, but only if the logistics and local management are handled properly on the ground.
All right, Section 5, the final verdict. Is Veho worth your time?
When we do a direct head-to-head comparison within the delivery gig space, the data clearly points to Amazon Flex as the stronger choice. While both of them use a similar block bidding system, Amazon Flex gets major points for having far more accurate time estimates, and that translates to higher actual hourly pay and significantly fewer driver complaints, especially compared to Veho's ongoing battles with buggy apps and remote warehouse locations. So the final verdict from the experts at Side Hustle is pretty pragmatic. They give Veho an average rating because, honestly, it just shouldn't be counted out entirely due to those strong regional hubs we talked about. Their bottom line recommendation? Secure an Amazon Flex gig first if you can. But if that's not an option, you absolutely must check the localized reviews for the Veho warehouse in your specific city before committing your time. Ultimately, before you go ahead and hand over your driver's license, you really have to ask yourself, if you aren't living in one of their top-rated cities, is the marketing illusion of $26 an hour worth the very real risk of a $4 an hour reality? It definitely makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding in the fine print of the gig economy, doesn't it? Well, it's certainly something to think about the next time you're on the hunt for a side hustle.